Hey guys, what's up? I am back and today I'm going to tell you about some of the popular books that everyone talks about that I have not read myself. I want to go ahead and apologize for the obvious bareness in my room right now and the door and everything. I'm currently starting to move out of my dorm as the semester is ending. So some things are packed up, some things are not, some things are put into a little corner. So this will be the only time you will see a mess like this. So I decided to go ahead and film this kind of video because, like I said, I am packing up my stuff and going through my books, trying to figure out which is going to go in storage, which ones are going to stay with me while I'm with my mom for the summer. So I decided to just pick 10 books that I know are popular with other readers that I have not read myself. And I can definitely assure you that since it's just 10 books I'm talking about, there are plenty more that I have not read, but I do plan to read in the near future, so it's just called patience. So the first book I have not read yet that a lot of people talk about as being very diverse, very different, and just very all over amazing is one of the books I definitely want to read soon, and it is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. So this book is about Henry Monty Montague, who is supposed to be fit to be a gentleman, but he has a little of a wild streak, and he goes on this little trip. He goes on this grand tour of Europe, and supposedly when he gets back from this grand tour, his father wants him to take over the family estate, but Monty has other plans. You see, he has a little crush on his friend Percy, who is also a guy. If you didn't know, this book is totally LGBT, so it's supposed to be like a year-long trip, and so Monty and Percy are together on this trip, and a lot of stuff happens. A lot of people love the book. I remember when this book was not published yet and people were getting their ARCs. I did try and get an ARC, but I didn't get one. So I got the hardcover, and I know it's been quite a while since it came out. Not too bad, but still a while. But I definitely want to read this book soon, hopefully this summer, because I do plan on reading a lot more this summer since I will be out of school. So hopefully I will get to it. So the next book that I have not read that I know a lot of people love, and I know I want to read it so badly, is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. So I remember getting this in the mail when it came out. I actually ordered the UK version because it's just so beautiful. And if I like a cover better than another cover, like US versus UK, then I will most definitely get the UK cover. So this book's main character is Laszlo Strange. Since he was a little boy, he's been obsessed with a lost city called Weep. And he actually gets the opportunity to go see this lost city thanks to Godslayer and a couple of warriors. So it's a great opportunity for him to take advantage of. And when he goes to track down this lost city and to learn its secrets, he meets a lot of these weird people. There's a blue-skinned person, and it's just supposed to be really magical. And clearly, a lot has to happen in this book if it's this big. So this is one I definitely want to read, and I know I keep saying that with a lot of books, but I really want to read this because I know the sequel is coming out soon, and I want to be able to read that early if possible. So this one is definitely on my list for the summer, I promise. So the next popular book that I have not read yet, that a lot of people have read, that I've heard so much about, and I really want to read, is Dumplin by Julie Murphy. So our main character's name is Willowdean Dixon, and she is known as Dumplin, thanks to her beauty queen mom. And as a fuller figured character, she definitely has a lot of confidence. And, she goes by the type where if you want to wear a bikini, then wear a bikini. And then she gets a job at a fast food joint, and she works with this really attractive jock who actually likes her back. So this kind of confuses her. She starts to lose her confidence because of this, and so she tries to get that confidence back by going into a beauty pageant. Basically, this girl just wants to show everybody what she can do and that she's no ordinary girl and that she has the confidence and beauty to win this pageant. This one I definitely want to read probably in the next couple weeks soon because I do have the sequel put on my ARC list right now, so I really want to read this before I get to Puddin', just so I can be caught up and dedicate to this series. And I'm very excited for the movie too, also because Dolly Parton is going to be part of it with her songs and everything. So I'm very excited to read this book soon. The next book I really want to read really soon because I know the movie's coming out in August, and I just can't believe I haven't read it yet, actually, and it is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. Alexandra Bracken is one of my favorite authors. I loved her newest middle grade series about Prosper Redding. I'm just really surprised I haven't read this book before because I've read quite a bit of Alexandra Bracken's books already, and I know this was like one of her earliest works, so I'm I'm just surprised I haven't read it yet. So we have these kids that get sent to like a rehabilitation camp. There was this disease that killed a lot of children, and now these kids that have survived, they now have abilities. When the truth of these abilities escapes, now these kids are on the run because they are considered very powerful and very dangerous. And when they get to East River, which is kind of like their sanctuary, there's this mysterious leader, and everything just goes big. And these people with the leader want to use Ruby, the main character, in order to fight the government. They want to use her powers to take control of the government, basically use her as a weapon. So I know this book follows with a lot of sequels, well, not terribly a lot. And I did get the newest cover where the spine spells out dark. So that really attracted me to the series. So, and I did watch the trailer, and it looks very, very interesting and very, very packed. So I know I have to read this really, really soon, and hopefully I will do it really, really soon. So the next book I haven't read, I'm very disappointed in myself for not reading it yet because I was so excited about it, and you guys know that I adore this author with all my heart, and that she is one of my favorites. So the next unread book on my shelf is The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. Please do not ask me why I've not read this because I have no idea. It's just so pretty, and I just love to admire it, and as soon as I got it, I got bombarded with all these other new releases and arcs that I got, and so I got busy, and then school started, so I didn't have time to read it. And it's just been crazy, and I'm so sad that I haven't read this yet because it is so beautiful. I've heard great things about it, and I really have no excuse for why I haven't read this, so I'm sorry. That's all I can say. So another book I have not read yet that I really want to read and that I was so excited about when I heard about it on social media, Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Deo. And this cover is just so gorgeous. Like, I'm just so sad that I haven't read it because it's so pretty. So we have 18-year-old Zifeng. Apologies if I don't pronounce the name correctly. She's beautiful and she's meant to be an empress, but only if she can embrace the darkness that's inside of her. And apparently in order to get this greatness of being an empress, she must be in contact with this young man. Obviously, he's probably going to be her love interest, and she has to use him in order to get her magic to unleash. And this book is just, I already know it's going to be amazing. I already know I'm going to love it. Don't ask me why I haven't read it yet, because I keep saying I will read it. Like, I'll add it to my Goodreads currently reading list, and then something happens and I don't read it. So, to Julie, I'm very sorry. I will read it very soon, I promise, because I know that you are working very hard on book 2. So, I know I'm slowly running out of time to read this before book 2 comes out, I think, next year. So, this next book, a lot of people have been talking about recently, is actually becoming a movie on Netflix. And you probably already know which book I'm talking about, To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. And this book, I know, is supposed to be adorable, and the covers are so beautiful. And I am very excited about this becoming a movie, even though I have not read it. This has been on my shelf for quite a while, and it's one of those books that have just been sitting there, and I don't know why. And it's one of the books you just stare at and you just want to read, but you don't know why you haven't read it yet. So, of course, the main character, she's got 5 boys that she writes love letters to. And all of a sudden, her secret letters get mailed. So this totally spins her life out of control. So it's a contemporary novel, obviously, and I'm not really into contemporaries right now, like not as much as I've been into fantasy lately, but this one I definitely want to read because I've heard nothing but great things, and I feel really left out for not being a part of the fandom, so hopefully I will read it very soon, I promise. The next book that I really feel bad for not reading yet is one that I know is very popular when it came out, and a lot of people talked about it, and how it's actually becoming a movie now thanks to Leo DiCaprio, and it is the Sandcastle Empire by Kayla Olson. And I want to go ahead and apologize to Kayla because she knows that I talked to her about wanting to read her book for so long, and how I finally was able to order it online and I could never find it in stores. So of course when I got it, I thought I was just going to read it immediately, and then things happened like they always do when you're an adult and you run a book blog and do all this other stuff with school and whatnot. So yeah, this one I have no excuse for why I haven't read either, because I'm a horrible person. But I do want to add this to my summer TBR. I do know that I'm pretty sure there is a second book that's supposed to be in this series, and Kayla is such a super nice person, and I feel really bad for telling her how excited I was and not reading it. So I am going to read it very, very soon, just like I've said with all the other books. But I promise I will, because my summer TBR is actually growing and I'm very excited to get started on it once classes are done. The next book that I have not read yet that I really want to read and that I was so excited about when it was coming out is The Bells by Danielle Clayton, and this one I don't know why I have not read it. I'm just going to chalk it up and say that it's just because I've been busy with school and other books that have come into my mailbox or on my TBR list. So, yeah. And I feel really bad for not reading this book because it's so gorgeous and I hear so many great things, and I hear there's like little teacup pets or something like that. So I really want to read it very soon. I feel like I'm the only person in the world who has not read this book, so I feel really left out and bad. And this whole video is just one big shame fest. So I saved the possible worst for last, probably the worst next to not reading Language of Thorns. And this one I really, really, really do not have a viable excuse. Really. Like really. I'm actually very ashamed to put this in the video, but I know this one is popular because the series is coming to an end this year, which just hurts my heart because I'm not ready for it to end. I'm seriously getting like chill bumps right now just thinking of the series ending, and it's like, I'm not ready because I've loved this series since I started reading it not too long ago, and it's just sad, and I just hate when series ends. So the 10th book of many that I have not read yet that I have no excuse for is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. And yeah, I don't know, I was so excited for this book, and when I got it, I remember getting this book and just staring at it for the longest time. I sat outside of campus at the bookstore and just put it in my lap, stared at it, and I was just so happy. I'd been having a bad day, so my mom gave me money to go get the book I wanted because I really did want it. And when I got it, I just felt so much better because I got it in my hands finally, and it was so beautiful. And after that, since its release until now, it has stayed on my shelf unread. And I have no excuse. I'm just a bad person. I accept all the hate comments that will come my way on my social media pages. It's such a beautiful book. I've heard such great things, though. Apparently some people say that, you know, Kale is not represented well, which I don't understand at all, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, no excuse. No excuse for all these books that I have not read. I don't have any viable excuse. I don't think there's ever really good excuse for not reading a book unless you are just so hesitant to read the book, or, you know, you get piled and buried under so many other books that you want to read that are actually for business purposes, like arts or something like that. So yeah, but I do plan on creating like a major summer TBR list because this summer I won't have any summer classes to take, so I'll have like 3 months of free time to read. So I plan on taking the entire summer to read as many books as I can, because when the fall semester starts, I don't plan on reading as much as I want to because I will have 6 classes to take, and I want to focus a lot more on school. So this summer is going to be like the biggest ever for reading. I really hope so. So thank you guys for looking at my shameful list of unread books, and I promise I will read them this summer because I want to read a lot more this summer and get more books read, because I only have 29 books out of 150 read right now. So yeah, that's a big shame because I need to read 150 by the end of the year. And last year, you know, I barely made it to 100. And if you remember at the beginning of this year, I said I was going to read 300, then it dropped to 250, then it dropped to 150. Yeah, so I need to make my goal this year, and hopefully reading all these books this summer, plus the others that are underneath my bed right now, will help me get closer to my 150 goal, because the fall semester will really shorten the amount of time I have to read. So go and follow my social media pages down below in the description, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!